people say that this room is where it's at.
Yeah. Joe had asked me if I picked up anything in this room. And I heard a woman, like, crying. And all he would say is it goes along with the story.
It does. Can you tell what happened?
No, I can't tell what happened, but she's upset. She's not sad. She's not crying because she's necessarily, something traumatic happened.
To her?
To her baby. She said my baby. Right?
I don't know, honestly. But a woman's spirit is known to be in here. That's why I put the camera in there.
Yeah. She's in there.
We're sorry about what happened to your baby. But your baby's got to be passed on. Aren't you with your baby? Can't you be with your baby? Talk to me.
She's stuck.
Obviously. Gonna put something in the frame here. Staying here just for a second. Definitely felt a really good charge when I walked in.
Yeah.
You can be with your baby. You have to leave here.
I heard it.
Heard what?
Like wind, like swishing.
When I was doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's right up there.
Yeah.
Definitely feel something going along with the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Something behind there.
No. A wall.
I bet you there's something behind that wall.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you whisper right before you said that?
No, I did not.
What the fuck?
That was her. You heard that?
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you whisper right before you said that?
No, I did not.
What the fuck?
That was her. You heard that?
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you whisper right before you said that?
No, I did not.
What the fuck?
That was her. You heard that?
I heard a yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh,
was right in my
we had
ear.
to capture that. So you're telling me that there's something right behind that wall?
She didn't answer that time.
Yeah. I thought it was you.
No.
Wow, you gotta be kidding me. It was like a,
Yeah.
that's exactly
That's
what it
what I
sounded
heard.
like. It was very clear. I heard it with my naked ear.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was right next to you.
Yeah, it was. It was like right in my right ear.
Let's just hope we didn't imagine that,
Right?
because that would have been worth the trip.
Every bit worth. Because that would have been like class freaking A. Like,
That's not an EVP. That's a
not
disembodied voice.
no, you're right.
Class A disembodied voice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was as clear as it gets.
Yeah.
Walk out of your cell. I'd like to see you. What the fuck was that?
Legends are an intrinsic part of our culture, based on some element of truth. But that truth is usually shrouded by embellishments from those who seek to strike fear into the minds of the credulous. Legends die hard. They survive as truth rarely does. But the truth about Madison Seminary can be debated, but but its history is only truly known by those who lived it, by the energies that stain the walls and echo through time. Legends are all to do with the past and nothing to do with the present. Many people flock to this impressive relic to see what legends it manifests, what secrets are unveiled, and what ghosts they can encounter. Sometimes legends make reality and become more useful than the facts. Whether dark entities dwell or past residents wander, the quest for paranormal awaits us at Madison Seminary. What we experience has not left us with doubt, but intrigue.
Right now we're standing on the oldest structure. It dates back to around 1850. This, right into it, was a school in the beginning. It was for boys. And shortly after its construction, a school out in Willoughby that was strictly for girls would burn down. They would mix the two, and that school would go on to about the turn of the century. At that time, though, the Women's Relief Corps would purchase this structure and construct the Ohio Cottage to our left over here. Their mission was to take care of women that were displaced in the Civil War, wives, sisters, anyone that lost a caretaker. And in that time period, it would have been the men, a brother or a husband. So if they were killed during the Civil War, these women ended here. Now again, this wasn't a bad place. This was to take care of these women, a very nice home. Think elegance. That's exactly what it was. And each room is being created to look like that, of the turn of the century, almost Victorian era, if you will. Now, you will see something throughout the time periods that everyone that takes this structure would lose this structure because it's 70,000 square feet. This is a monster, and it's, you know the hardest part? It's hard to heat this thing. And over its course of 170 years, people would come and go. The Women's Relief Corps, turn of the century, they had this property for not even 4 years. Constructed even that large structure and lost it because they couldn't keep the upkeep. Later, as we go fast forwarding through, the health department would take it over because no one else was able to take on this juggernaut. That's when things get interesting.
There's some creepy ass fucking drawings in here, dude.
I know.
That's a photo.
Yes. There's another photo there.
I heard it.
What was that?
I don't know. It was like a,
Right.
but a little higher pitched.
Yeah. Like a whimper, almost.
Right. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
I heard footsteps.
Oh, here.
Mm-hmm.
Was that them out there? I heard a female.
This is the front of the building.
I heard it back then. Towards the back.
I don't know.
There's someone in here. If you make that chair rock, I'll be really happy. I'll pack up, go home, tell everyone that Madison Seminary is just haunted as fuck.
She said more people.
Sure. You know they're all coming every weekend. People come in here with their flashlights, scaring themselves. Maybe if you start talking more, interacting more, they won't be giggling and making rude comments all the time. Maybe they'll start caring. I know you're there. Huh.
I was hoping you felt that too.
Huh.
I was hoping you felt that too.
Whoa. Check this out.
Yeah.
Something is trying to freak us out.
Yeah, they don't want us up here, so they think if they scare us, that we'll leave.
If I can get on camera what you showed me in my head, that would be great.
What did she just show you in your head?
She made herself look like she was dead. Sunken black eyes. You know what? I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Justin. He was scared of the dark. He was scared of ghosts. And then he's seen death. You can make yourself look like that. It's not going to scare me. I've already been scared by it. You can just ask us to leave. I know you don't have to, but you could.
The Beetlejuice method's not gonna work.
That's a nice
kind of
reference.
what it was, right?
Yeah. Yep. Now, is that what you were dealing with, or
Yeah.
like what were you feeling and seeing at that point?
Like, I could see her out the shadow. I couldn't see.
See, I followed her back to where she was in her room, and then she seen me see her, and then she tried to scare me.
Okay.
Because I heard her shift.
Right.
Like there, you know, it's like her clothing made a noise.
Right. And I more felt her than heard her this time.
Definitely an older woman.
Yeah.
But that's what she was perceiving herself as.
Yeah. She just said, damn it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It's okay. It's okay for you to not like us to be here. We totally understand. You know, we can't, I can't be too much different from your grandkids. Constantly nagging at you. There's going to be people keep coming through here. It's not going to stop. I'm sorry.
This was the room that I seen the woman in the mirror in.
Okay.
Oh, Justin.
Yes.
Little woman, gray curly hair, just had it done. I just seen her reflection in the mirror.
No shit.
She was waiting for her kids and they never came. She was getting all dolled up and no one ever came.
Okay, just chill for a second.
I walked in one of the rooms, I sat down on the bed, and I turned my head to look in the mirror, and I could see her in the mirror for a split second, and then she just disappeared. But you had said that she turned around and looked Beetlejuice-esque, as we called it, but I could feel the presence, but I couldn't see her. And I guess that's just how it works. They show themselves to one person and not the other, and they're both standing in the same hallway.
I'd been in there a couple times throughout the night. I went in there once with Josh and we walked around. I went in there to do some B-roll by myself, and when we were investigating, the feeling was totally different. I mean, you walked in and I think, if I remember right, you walked in and you could go to the right, which would have led to the front door, or to the left, which led to a couple rooms, and then you had some stairs you could go up that got you to the other floors. But right there in that main hallway, you could feel the foot traffic, and it was like the air was just swirling in a circle around you. And it was just, you could feel the energy moving back and forth and back and forth. It was freaky. Because, you know, I don't ever feel stuff like that. You walk in there and it's like, whoa. You know, it's like you're in a whirlpool is what it feels like. But it's not a standing whirlpool doing this. It's a standing whirlpool doing this around you. So the energy's coming from the door to the back, to the door to the back, but it's doing it in almost like a circular motion. And it got to the point that I could almost physically feel the wind off of it. It was moving so fast.
Starting in the late 1950s onto 1970, the Department of Health would absorb this structure, and that's when things get really interesting. There was an honor inmate program, basically free labor. They would take women from Marysville and ship them here to basically be nurses' aides. They would do jobs that other nurses were not able to do. They would be here on the property and take care of patients 24/7. It was in exchange from going to the prison, Marysville Prison, which exists today. It's strictly women. Now here is what is interesting, and I talk about political corruption when I talk about this, was there is a report of a woman by the name of Blanche Jacobs. She was transferred here after only serving 3 months at Marysville. Now her story dates back around that time in the 50s or so. She was out of Columbus, Ohio. And what happened was she had been caught multiple times for check forgery. And probably her third or fourth time doing it, she tried to pull a stunt on her landlords. And I'm not sure if she brought the knife with her then or came back, but when they caught her, she ended up stabbing them multiple times and killing them, all right? Now somehow, with her being caught and being taken to Marysville, she was transferred within 3 months to this place, the Madison Home. And the only reason I know this was the superintendent's son, who was still alive. I had a conversation with him and he was the only one to give me the daily operations. He didn't even know as he was growing up, he was only 8 or 9. He's like, I didn't know until my family left in the 70s that there was a known murderer going around the place with us. He kept telling me she was of a good breed. She was such a good woman. I didn't understand why she was here. And he was the one telling me that these women stayed down here. Now we're still doing a little more research on all these women, but this sets the bar. You can only imagine if they've got a woman that committed a double homicide out in Columbus, Ohio, you've got some other interesting ladies here. Another interesting story was that these women that roamed, they didn't lock the doors. If any of them left the property, the police would just bring them right back. And it was like a little slap on the wrist, don't do that again. But it happened quite often. Now, as far as activity down here, this is probably the most uncomfortable spot for me in this structure, the actual Madison Seminary. We're standing on a floor that dates back 1847, if not farther. And you gotta think of the layers, the energy that's stacked up here. What's fascinating, I've had sensitives walk through here and they all pick up on a man that is just pure evil. And they think a lot of them think he dates back to when this was a school. And he may have been a janitor, maintenance worker, but he may have been molesting some of the children. Again, maybe it's psychological front-loading, I don't know, but it's such an interesting story. But for some reason, I've always felt uncomfortable down here. I remember one day I was actually just moving some stuff around. I was completely alone on the property. And as you guys can feel right now, there's no wind flow down here. There's no windows open. It's probably around 8 o'clock at night, and I was just putting stuff into the one bathroom, and I felt this gush of wind, just a breeze come up behind me, and a moan of and I remember tensing up, that feeling like something's about to come and get you, and I turned like someone's about to hit me. Nothing, of course, but it was 2-3 days later, we had a public event, and 2 sensitives look at me and they go, ooh, you got a bullseye on your back. I'm trying to understand, what do you mean? What do you mean a bullseye on my back? And they said, there is a man that hates you because you're clearing the energy down here. Every time you clean and make this nice, you're sweeping away the energy, his personal Disneyland, because he used to do terrible things down here. This was his place. He used to take children down here. He used to get off on this stuff, just wicked stuff. And I believe it. You know, I've had a lot of people come down here, uncomfortable experiences, women being touched, especially the women down here getting touched. We've gotten EVPs saying, I'm gonna rape her. And it's just very, very disgusting stuff. It's a lot, yeah, it's a lot to take in, but
We can start spreading out down through this area. Jess, if we start breaking up, let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Jess, do you want to go with me?
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was thinking
It
over
doesn't
here,
matter.
just walked as soon as I turned the corner for some reason. Ooh, it's stanky in here.
Shower? A bathroom.
Pretty. Well, that was my good
What the
elbow.
fuck?
That was me, if you heard that.
No.
No.
No, I fucking didn't.
What?
What the fuck? What?
What?
You
What?
didn't fucking hear that? I didn't hear anything.
What did it say?
I heard someone say not in here.
Hey, can you guys be quiet for a second? We can start spreading out down through this area. Jess, if we start breaking up, let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Jess, do you want to go with me?
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was thinking
It
over
doesn't
here,
matter.
just walked as soon as I turned the corner for some reason. Ooh, it's stanky in here.
Shower? A bathroom.
Pretty. That was my good elbow.
What the fuck?
That was me, if you heard that.
No.
No.
No, I fucking didn't.
What?
What the fuck? What?
What?
You
What?
didn't fucking hear that? I didn't hear anything.
What did it say?
I heard someone say not in here.
Hey, can you guys be quiet for a second? We can start spreading out down through this area. Jess, if we start breaking up, let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Jess, do you want to go with me?
Good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was thinking
It
over
doesn't
here,
matter.
just walked as soon as I turned the corner for some reason. Ooh, it's stanky in here.
Shower? A bathroom.
Pretty. That was my good elbow.
What the fuck?
That was me, if you heard that.
No.
No.
No, I fucking didn't.
What?
What the fuck? What?
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 You didn't fucking hear that? I didn't hear anything.
What did it say?
I heard someone say not in here.
Hey, can you guys be quiet for a second? What I heard, it almost sounded like somewhat like a dog bark, but not a dog bark, like animalistic, and it echoed from down deep somewhere. I cannot believe you did not hear that.
I was probably around the same. I dragged my foot.
No.
I know, but I was probably. Was I telling Missy about
You
it?
might have, the noise covered it up for you.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Maybe it was outside, but it echoed through here.
Where are you two going?
Joe said he knows exactly where it came from.
Do you know what it was?
How does it feel in here?
How does it feel in here?
Did anybody else hear it?
I didn't hear it.
It was at like 59:04. Is what the time said on this.
Oh. I am freaking buzzing. I mean, my body is buzzing.
It was weird, dude. Well, I'm not gonna try to be loud. It was like a weird.
Justin,
It was
walk
weird.
in here. My whole body is buzzing.
There's a lot of pressure.
He's got hair stands in it.
He does.
I mean, it's like a bunch of bumblebees all over my skin, just going.
I don't know if maybe it'll focus on his arm or not.
62.6 degrees. I'm getting no hits or readings on this meter.
Huh?
Huh?
Are you hearing
62.6
that hum
degrees.
in the distance?
Yeah. Plus I got a 3.2 and it went right back down. I mean, it just went through like,
I'm
Do you
getting
hear
nothing.
anything back there?
No.
I keep hearing whimpers.
Maybe it's the girls outside. I heard someone talking. It sounded distant back that way. I just really want to know what the fuck I heard over there.
I hope it came from the recording.
Oh, it had to have. If anything, it came over this microphone.
Joe said it would have came from in here.
Okay, start talking, Joe.
Because this has happened when I first came here. Something similar. And it came from here. I walked past with somebody else and I heard it. And we just looked at each other like, what the hell is that? So,
You heard something similar?
yeah.
What was
Justin, we're in the back of the building.
This is actually the front in the basement.
That is the back of the building.
Yeah, that's in the back, yeah.
So if you heard someone talking back there,
No, he was by that door right there.
Oh, when I was in here. It sounded male, but yeah, I think it could have been someone outside talking. But right where Derek is, if you move towards that keep out door,
right
I was standing
there.
right in front of it. And it sounded like it was echoing from somewhere deep in the earth. Like there was even a sub-level below us. That might make no sense, but it sounded like it was deeper than what we were.
Well, there's a.
Something that was said earlier.
Yeah,
Was level.
but
There's a-
he was talking
there's a
about
little
that
bit
over
of-
there, wasn't he?
There's a little bit of a breeze down here that you can feel. Not a lot, but you know, this whole area just seems. It's like it's charged. It's got a lot of charge to it.
Well, Adam did take us right to the spot where we were standing.
It's interesting.
Right now, we've entered into the laundry wing. And what's interesting about this room, there's not even a name to it. All I can tell you about this room is there is an urban legend being passed around. A lot of reliable sources in the town have said, didn't you ever hear about the story about a woman being buried in that building? I said, no, but you got my attention. What are you talking about? And the story goes that at the turn of the century, this school was still slightly operating here. You know, there was that transfer, but a teacher and a teacher's aide were having an affair. Now, whoever this teacher was, he must have been prominent. And by getting this woman pregnant, it would have ruined his marriage, his status in the town, and everything. So unfortunately, he decided to kill her. And story goes that he buried her down here in the floor. The reason I take you to this room to talk about that story is as you progress through this entire wing, the cement is laid perfectly. I mean, come on guys, I'm here all the time. I literally look at this structure trying to figure out the architecture, but I will tell you one of the things that has always baffled me is the floor in this room. When you look at how the concrete is laid, it really looks like there was some kind of modification. I don't know why they would have ever modified this floor. Another rumor, and I've never told anyone this, on a few of the tours, locals have been coming through and saying, wait, why are we heading upstairs? This tour is supposed to take us one floor down, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? A lot of I've had 3 or 4 now say that, no, there's actually a subterranean floor to this. When I was younger, I've been here. And no, I'll tell you right now, I have the blueprints of this place. It stops here, but I can tell them when they're looking at me, they truly believe that. And they said, oh no, I know this one, it's the laundry ring below this. And guys, I've had sensitives come through here. We've caught EVPs always saying there's stuff hidden, there's stuff in the walls, there's stuff buried. And it makes me wonder, you know, I've been told this is a place where secrets go to die, and it makes me wonder, did they fill in a floor? Is there something still hidden before? As far as the woman, from a lot of the evidence gathered, it's very likely there may have been a murder here and it was covered up, and she was taken. I think she may have been buried here for a short while and taken somewhere else. I did have a guy, he claimed that he could use dowsing rods to find unmarked graves. Now we all know that dowsing rods detect energy. It's used to find water flows and stuff. The thing about it is, when I first met this guy, I never told him about the rumor because it was very early into this building. And he takes me from the middle of the building to here, starts walking through the entire floor. And when he gets to this point right here, the rods twist to an X, indicating a mark. And as he moves forward, he hits another mark, X, and he goes, well, her head's there and her feet are there. Now don't ask me how he knew the gender. Again, I didn't tell him anything, but he was suspecting she was right here.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you can appreciate this question. Now, you said you looked at the blueprints. There's no signs of subterranean or hidden. Do you think if the legend or the hearsay of a hidden body or hidden spaces is widespread and flourishing, do you think that would create some psychokinetic energy that would create EVP or any type of strange phenomenon?
So there's truth to every legend, right? Even any little bit of gossip, there's always a little bit of truth. So maybe something did happen from that angle, right? Maybe something happened and they were taken, but here's the problem with psychic phenomena. If enough people come in here and they believe that, they stain that impression. So even a good psychic can come in and pick up on that impression and think, well, maybe a lady was buried here. How many tours do we give when we speak about it? You know, so it is absolutely possible. Am I sold completely yet? No, I haven't taken any sonar to the ground, so I don't know yet. Until we're able to do that and ping below us, it's just an urban legend.
When we initially walked through, I think it was all of us walking through, and I picked up on a woman and a child in the room downstairs to the left. And Joe's like, what are you picking up on? And I repeated myself, and he said, well, it goes along with the story. And he just walked off. We were standing in there talking about what we were picking up. We were picking up on the woman, and we were talking about the ground underneath and the wall that looked fake. And I heard a yes, and I went to say, I heard a yes, and you're like, I heard that. Did you hear that? And I was like, I was so excited because you had finally heard something that I heard. And it was finally validated to me that you heard it. Because it hasn't happened often. I think she felt like she could even let us hear her voice because she knew that we were not there to hurt her. And we weren't there for any other reason but to hear her. And I think she felt like she was safe and she could just go ahead and say what she needed to say.
Right now we're standing in Sarah's room, and I'll tell you what, when it comes to this floor, this is ground zero. I'm gonna get a little personal because I haven't shared this, but back in 2011 when I first investigated the Madison Seminary, there was a sticky note on the door that said Sarah's room, and there were just a few dolls here. Okay, now monkey see, monkey do, because there wasn't much to research about this place, but here I was, like many investigators before me, thinking we're communicating with a child. And I will tell you, a lot of the active EVPs come back childlike, talking about, my name is Sarah, all this. Here's the problem with that. If you want to ask me personally, I don't think that there was ever a child here. There's nothing on record of a child being dropped off here, a child dying here. If you want me to get personal with you right now, I think something was brought here. We all know about theories like taxi cab entourage theory. You guys right now, you just got back from Old Licking County Jail not too long ago. Like investigators, things may attach. You go to other properties, and what says that they're not going to stop? Say, hey, thanks, I'm going to follow you, but you know what? You brought me here to the Madison Seminary. I kind of like this. I think whatever this entity is, it was brought in way before us, way before, and it stayed here. It liked the energy. There is another problem, because we're feeding it in a sense. It was during a public investigation. We were doing an active EVP and we got a response back. Money. Clear as day, 15 people. We all heard in the room. There was no doubts. And the problem was right after that, we were about to walk to take a break and a lady comes up and she's like, hey, is it all right if I leave some money? And I'm thinking to myself, sure, go ahead. But by doing that, not only were the dead realizing we can communicate, but this side is responding. Now, I'm not one to use the word portal. I don't like that word because it's thrown around like the word love. Does love have any value anymore? I love this, I love that. In the paranormal, the word portal has been thrown around a lot, but if I can use it with respect, it's a vortex, a portal, because it becomes a hub. People are coming here and they know that even, the living come to this exact point of reference and they talk to us. So maybe another thing's happening. Maybe Dead Man Joe over there realizes that, I'm talking about the actual dead guy. Dead Man Joe realizes, well, that's funny. I didn't even realize. I just went to that reference. I really didn't mean that. Because I saw you flinch, like, what? What? Saying that there would be a dead man named Joe in the other room, realizing, hey, these people are coming over and they're trying to talk to a person, Sarah. No one wants to come and talk to me. I'm going to come and talk. It could be a lot of things, but whatever it is knows exactly what we're doing and it knows how to communicate. But
Interesting.
It could go into a thought form as well. Perhaps we're creating the haunting. If enough people come in here, maybe there's never a child. Someone's just playing a game, put the sticky note up, all right? We all come in here and we keep staining the impression. We create that thought form, and now there is something created from a collective of energy. It could be that as well. But out of all the intelligences in this building, this is one of them.
Noted. Stir that chili, that's what we do. Stir that chili.
I like that. Oh, that's chilly. Now, I really haven't touched a lot of the other rooms. They were all, these just happen to be the hubs, right? They're just the hubs that people go to. A lot of these rooms have been untouched as well. We've had experiences in all of them, but again, remember, you're dealing with 88 rooms. You almost need a week to just bunker in and do stuff. So don't disregard something. If tonight you get a feeling you're drawn to something, and you're like, oh, we didn't talk about this, you obviously know. You guys are well seasoned, just go for it. I have no doubt that there's something else haunting here that we haven't found yet.
Okay, I just heard something.
What?
Did you say something under your breath?
No.
I definitely got something on your mic then, just in order right here.
What did it sound like?
Just like that.
I have no doubt that there's something else haunting here that we haven't found yet.
Okay, I just heard something.
What?
Did you say something under your breath?
No.
I definitely got something on your mic then, just in order right here.
What did it sound like?
Just like that.
I have no doubt that there's something else haunting here that we haven't found yet.
Okay, I just heard something.
What?
Did you say something under your breath?
No.
I definitely got something on your mic then, just in order right here.
What did it sound like?
Just like that. Definitely got it.
Are these two mics?
I got the shotgun and I got your lav going.
Weird.
You'll definitely be hearing that as soon as we get back.
There was some stuff in the attic. I guess it would be the attic area, the hospital ward, I guess is what they were, or the hospital area, that was very interesting. We walked up and we walked around the corner to the right, and we passed the room that we had the live stream set up in. And when we passed it, we started to go around the corner, and as soon as we got to the intersection, Josh stopped and he was like, man, I'm having chest pains. And I'm like, what do you mean you're having chest pains? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm having trouble breathing and I'm starting to have chest pains. And I'm like, okay, are you all right? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And we stood there a minute, And then he went down on his knees and he said, man, I'm really having chest pains. And I was like, well, do you think that it's physically yourself having chest pains, like you're sick having chest pains, or do you think it's something up here messing with you, giving you chest pains? And he's like, I don't know.
You know, everybody is captivated by this area. I mean, this is what I call the asylum. And when I first purchased the place, you know, it wasn't hard to know that this has been whitewashed. If you even look the historical references up online, it's like 3 paragraphs, who bought it, who it changed hands to, but no one ever talks about this section here. And everyone I've talked to always told me, oh, that was just storage up there, just storage. I'm gonna call bullshit, all right? Look where we're standing right now. Wow, that's a wide open area right here. Another suspicious thing is just around the corner, your laundry chute comes all the way up. And just around the corner, the dumbwaiter for the kitchen comes up. Why, if this was always to be for storage, would you do that? And why would the rooms around the corner have the radiators connected to the boiler down below? Heat rises and you're just using this for storage, right? Again, I call bullshit. I've heard the urban legends from some of the locals, these ones that are 65, almost 70, saying when they were young, they used to drive by this place with their parents and women would be waving dramatically out the windows up here. You know, you got your little windows up here. They had heard the rumors that this is where, you know, mentally ill patients were called. The whole urban legend, they used to call this the madhouse. That's what the locals call it. They call the town Mad Town, Madhouse. There's, you know, everybody has, there's sort of the boogeyman. When you're young and growing up, be good. The boogeyman's gonna get you. Well, you wanna know what the boogeyman in Madison is? It's this place. You grew up here and you acted up in front of your parents, you get sent here. Now that sends a red flag. If this was a nice facility and everyone was being taken care of, why are you gonna send them here? Something was happening behind these walls.
This is the asylum part.
Yeah.
No, I need to catch my breath.
I know. Okay.
Where do you want to go?
Let's start down here where we were at. EDI. Now see, down here, it gives you that charged up floor.
Yeah.
It gives you that charged up feeling. But all the hair is standing up. Even the hair on my head feels like it's standing up.
I gotta kneel down.
You all right?
What the hell?
Is it heavy?
No. Just.
Just a weird feeling. Ooh. Something's fucking pinching my leg.
What?
Something was pinching my leg.
Pinching your leg how?
I don't know, but it was almost like it was biting my leg. It was a pinch.
Like a bug or something?
That's what it felt like, but I didn't feel a bug on me. That was weird. There was nothing crawling, or none of that shit. Now see this door down here? Right? This room right here. When we were up here earlier and just a minute ago, I keep seeing like something come out of the door. Here at the base of the door. And it's almost like white. Like a milky white. It comes out of the door, goes back in. Then it comes out of the door, goes back in. And it's only like this high. It's tiny.
How high?
Probably about this high. So it's small.
My camera battery's gonna die in a little bit. We'll go as long as we can.
That's cool.
May have to battery pack towers here.
Come on, let's kind of chill right here for a minute.
All right. That's me.
Yeah, these floors make a lot of noise. Is there anybody up here that wants to communicate with us?
That's gotta be like Joe and Jess.
It sounded like somebody talking, but there's somebody walking too.
Yeah, that's why it makes me think that it's Joe
A
and
lot
Jess.
of this, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of echoing throughout the building.
I'm hearing footsteps.
Oh my.
Is it? What was that?
Right there at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Somebody down there? Do you want us to come down there?
Every room has a story. Somebody once walked through and said, well, where did someone die? And I'm thinking, pick a room. Pick a room up here. But what I can tell you are 2 rooms of interest. I had a member of staff, he's no longer with us. He just moved. But we were fixing this room. We were putting some drywall up. And he's very low key. He's not somebody to ever raise his voice or yell. And I remember I set him up on the ladder. He had a hammer, he had his plaster, he was ready to go. And as I whipped around the corner, I hear him muttering to himself. So I'm kind of listening, trying to eavesdrop a little bit. And it sounded very aggressive in tone. So I walk around the corner and I'm literally standing looking right here. I don't say anything. And he looks right at me, dead in the eyes, hammer in his hand, slams the hammer on top of the ladder and he says, "You need to get me out of here right now." So the first instinct through my head is, well, shit, I can take you if I have to, because I felt that aggression. Like I was actually sizing him up, like I don't, hammer in hand, I don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, are you all right? And he goes, I don't know why you're not letting me out of this room. You need to let me out of this room right now. So I slowly walk up to him, he's on the ladder, I grab his shoulder, I bring him down, he's still clenching that hammer, we put the hammer down, I walk him around the corner of the stairwell, and immediately his body becomes untense. And he's like, oh man, I did need a break. I'm like, that's it? That's your line? You needed a break? I said, what was that up there? What happened to you? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, hammer pounding, any of that? And he's just like, oh, I don't know, I just felt like upset there for a second. But it went over his complete head, like he felt the aggression but has no idea what he was doing. Now because I haven't experienced it, I can't say that it's not real. I've never I've never experienced a possession or a partial possession, to that extent where someone hijacks the body. But because we haven't experienced it, doesn't mean it's not real. Maybe someone is not as shielded as us. It can affect everyone a little differently, right? I know what I saw that day, and I know him, and I know something happened.
Was somebody walking down here?
That you?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a
Yeah.
lazy damn switch. Tell us where to go. Where can we go and we can talk to somebody?
That behind us, or was that in front of us?
What?
The noise.
Didn't hear anything.
It sounded like something being dropped or.
Oh, if it's from carrying his camera, but it's the same damn spot that I've had to.
Is it a pain?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just from carrying a camera or what, but just like a. I just want to stretch my back.
Could be from carrying a camera.
What's that?
It could very well be from carrying a camera.
Like I carried it all the way up here, it was fine.
Right.
I got to this spot, I was like, it's just gonna move down, take a break. And then I got up and we walked around there on that end, and we come back to the same spot again. And I'm like, geez.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Are you messing with Josh here?
That's me. We got to move my camera around.
Why are you doing that? Do you not want us up here?
That's me. We got to move my camera around.
Why are you doing that? Do you not want us up here?
That's me. We got to move my camera around.
Why are you doing that? Do you not want us up here?
Derek did talk about there was a time where you're in the Ohio Cottage area up there where we kind of dubbed it the psych ward area, and you kind of walk down that hallway past that little room with the weird gurney table and everything. He said that you started experiencing chest pains, and at some point it kind of made you have to take a knee and relax until it subsided. Do you remember that?
I don't know why, but I don't remember that. I really don't. I remember that happening at a another location, but not specifically Madison. There's probably footage of it though, I'm sure.
Adam Kimmell had mentioned in that same exact area that a worker of his helping him renovate that area had been experiencing some strange behavior and he didn't have any memory of it. Do you think that it's possible that it was kind of like, you blanked out?
Yeah, I would say it's possible. Has that ever happened to me before? No.
It'd be freaky if that's what happened. I mean, I
Absolutely.
I just find that odd that you don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, the only other time that something happened to me that I, dropped down to one knee just to kind of collect myself so that I could continue, was at a different location. But I definitely remember that. But yeah, I guess the footage will kind of show me, and maybe I can remember at that particular time.
When I first purchased the place, I should say even farther than that. Back in 2011, even the first time here, this room, as you progress and look at these rooms, something's different about this one. It's a little bigger. It just radiates. Something was wrong in here. Now, I have not shared this. This is the first time on record talking about this. There is a classified source that I can't give, but he is, I assure you, very, very credible. And he was here around the 80s, and he starts describing stuff. And I started asking him, what about the top floor? The top floor. He goes, oh, the floor with the wide open room and those creepy rooms to the right. I said, yes. I said, I want you to go back in your mind, because it's been years since he's been here, obviously. Walk up those stairs and turn to the right. He goes, yeah, that's where those rooms were. I said, can you tell me about that room on the right when you come in? And he has this look on his eyes. He's got glasses and he looks above the glasses, gives me that look. And what he said next was terrifying but confirming on some facts. He comes through that door and he's looking in. And he said, I was just up there to get files. And I come in, and now this was brought here. Okay, this was brought here. But he said there was a table in here. And he said, I've never seen something like this, never. And I stood at that doorway for 10 minutes, terrified, knowing I had to grab files, but I'm just staring at this table. And he said, Adam, it wasn't even designed like a normal table. The arms were just these metal slabs going across all the way. And it wasn't leather couplings, it was a metal coupling that came around and a bolt twisted to close it. And it may have been a bronze structure. He said it had a brown, greenish, aged look to it. And he said as well that the legs weren't right. The legs came up at a 45-degree angle, flat metal slabs. And after staring at this thing for 10 minutes, he said, my only conclusion was it was a torture device. What's ironic about that is 3 days later, he came back up to grab stuff and the table was removed. He'd never seen it again. And even when I purchased the building, this room was empty. There was nothing here. And right as I was about to leave, he stops me. He's like, oh, one last thing. I don't know why this came to my head, but it wasn't drilled to the floor. And I said, okay. And he goes, no, but it wasn't drilled to the floor. It was on a marble slab. And I said, really? Because out of all the junk that was left here, this room had just this marble slab. And the reason I never moved it was it's 150 pounds. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna throw it over the fire escape. And I said to him, how big was the metal slab? And he's like, two or so feet. But he goes, there were holes drilled in it. And as you will see underneath this is the slab that was sitting up here, which has the drill marks. That right there was the validity I needed, because again, it's just a story, but now we have some concrete proof. I knew that slab was here. It covered me in chills. He may be onto something. Here's the problem. This was donated prior to that story. I just never had a chance to move it up. And I kind of regret bringing it up here, because I've always heard stories that there is a doctor up here and he's oppressive and he still haunts, because this is like his personal Disneyland. He still gets to torture the women that are up here. And I brought it up here and I didn't want it to be like a shrine. So I told this son of a bitch, if I ever find out that you terrorize these women on the other side, I will take this down in a heartbeat. Now, I've gotten confirmation that he doesn't leave this room, but I don't know if he's got goons walking around to do his bidding. But that might be something to try and figure out tonight. It is a shame, you know, it's dark research. This is like a shrine to him. These women that were treated like animals, all they wanted was that human compassion. That's all they wanted. I feel for these women. They never got it. And then to bring this up here, it's an insult. So again, I have made that deal. You stay in here, you son of a bitch, do not come out.
Yeah, this room is full of wheelchairs and
What's
shit.
that wheelchair? I got that sucker earlier.
Right.
Whew. Kind of just, as soon as I rounded the corner, like I'm getting chills right now. Like something just hit me, like blindsided me right there, right side. Like my ear felt warm and I started getting chill. I got chills on the right side of my body.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's to the point where it's, I can feel it more in my leg than I can on my arm.
That's gonna feel different right here. Is somebody up here with us right now?
Push that wheelchair across the floor.
That was me moving.
Yeah, as soon as I got out of here to where it opened up, it just like, just hit me.
Walk down this way. Into the center. It does, you know, kind of. It feels different up here from what it did before. Yeah, there's. Oh yeah, I got the chills now right here.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. It's like all up the insides of my arms and stuff. It's almost like something walks up to you and just kind of you know, tries to give you a hug. What was that?
I heard a yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It
Oh,
was
we had
right
to,
in my
we had
ear.
to capture that. So you're telling me that there's something right behind that wall?
She didn't answer that time.
Yeah. I thought it was you.
No.
Wow, you gotta be kidding me. It was like a,
Yeah.
that's exactly
That's
what it
what I
sounded
heard.
like. It was very clear. I heard it with my naked ear.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was right next to you.
Yeah, it was. It was like right in my right ear.
Let's just hope we didn't imagine that,
Right?
because that would have been worth the trip.
Every bit worth. Because that would have been like class freaking A. Like,
That's not an EVP. That's a
not
disembodied
EVP.
voice.
No, you're right.
Class A disembodied voice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was as clear as it gets.
Yeah. The way I heard it, it was.
Okay, before we leave here,
Okay.
I just want to do a little bit more energy work. It's wanting to collect right here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm sinking. Sinking down. That's odd. All right, well, let's move. They're definitely right above us, so let's go to the other side.
Okay.
You can follow us if you can. Keep coming. Someone's walking right behind us.
She's still there. She's following us.
Good. She don't need to be in there.
She said, I don't want to be.
I don't blame you. She felt like she was stuck in the ground. I tried to pull it up. It felt like it did,
Yeah.
but felt like it was stuck there for a long time. Okay. We'll go over in this other lower area here.
That was cool.
God, I hope that's what we thought we heard.
What?
That was the squeak on this wood.
Are you sure?
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's what I did right before you said what. Pretty sure that's what you heard.
Okay.
My hand squeaked on the wood railing. Okay, let's see if we can get something to happen here. This is funky.
Yeah.
This is real funky. It seems like it's here, right in here.
Yeah.
I bet I got white ass now.
You did before anyway.
Uh-oh.
What? It's different in here.
Something definitely hangs out in here.
Yeah.
I think this is fucking brick. Yeah. I just want to see what kind of physical interaction it can do. You hold that.
Mm-hmm. It was 111.2.
Hold it lower down on it.
28.8, 20.4, 29.6, 35.5.
Okay. Is that you? It's steady. Okay, go ahead and walk around. See if it's... Whoa. I was right. This room is split. Stop it! I was trying to scare it. Didn't work. Hold still, hold still, hold still.
What?
Hold still. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to communicate with us. Can you stop that, please? Or can you help it? Hold very still.
He said don't want to.
Okay, it's gone down. Hold still, hold still. Okay, I got it away from the energy. Now don't move, Missy. Back away over there. Through the doorway.
Sorry.
Did you fucking do that, my motherfucking god?
I just leaned against the door.
Okay, alright, okay.
Calm down.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm calm, alright.
He's male.
I think that just got rid of it.
He's older.
Older male, huh? Let me see if I can focus in on this meter. Okay.
Like late 70s.
Late. He's over in here in this corner.
Yeah.
Are you running from me? Ah, you can't run from me, bro. You're in the corner, I get it. He knows that we can find him.
Right.
Okay, we're going to leave you alone, but I want you to do something for me, please.
Set this down. Right back away that way for me.
Okay, I want to leave you alone. I know you were trying to hide from us. But I have a favor to ask of you. Can you walk in front of that for me? I just want to know that you are not afraid of us. We mean you no harm. If you just walk in front of those lights, we will leave.
I hear a conversation going on, but I don't know if it's the boys or
I'm hearing footsteps.
that too.
Are you in there?
What the fuck?
It's gotta be them. Yeah, that's them. It doesn't look like he wants to play our game.
No.
I didn't think so, but it was worth a shot. That was really cool, though.
It was.
I think he thought that I couldn't feel where he was, and then when I felt where he was and turned where he was, it went off. And I don't think he wants to play with us. So
Right.
I had one of the high-ranking officials shortly after the purchase come with me, and he was kind of talking when the county was here, and nostalgia, going through the memories. And when I took him up here, his personality changed completely. He goes, "Oh, I don't like this area." I'm like, "Why is that?" He goes, "Well, I was getting paperwork one day, and I went around the corner, and I saw something that's burned into my memory forever." I'll take you over here, and it's gone now, but He comes around this corner with me, and his immediate reaction, "Oh, it's gone, it's gone." What's gone? He's like, "They plastered over it." But I'm telling you right now that at one time, underneath this, someone had etched in, "I've been here for 10 years. I know I'm never getting out. I know I'm going to die here." And he stood there and he looked at it. He said, that really bothered me. That stuck with me for a long time. And he said that whoever came after this plaster job, I didn't do it. Someone afterwards, maybe with the county later, plastered over this. But it makes me wonder if these people really were sent here. And if they were sent here, they were sent here. It was it. You weren't leaving. You were not leaving. So it makes you wonder if they did a whole job like this, what other messages were scribbled in? There is one etching over here real quick. Again, I told you, I don't know if this is lighting okay.
let me look at the histogram. It's fine.
Is it? Now, like I told you about the etchings and all that, and, well, that's not what I was gonna say. Like I told you about when this place sat vacant and the kids were breaking in, when you look down at the floor, you see RC and LM. Hope you guys are still together. It looks like it's from the 80s or 90s there. That would be the early 90s. All these etchings I overlooked, except this one right here, and I don't know why my mind just sticks to it. It says Rudy, okay? Rudy. I could be completely wrong and just on the wrong limb, but I know that there were a few men mixed into this. It wasn't just women, they were taking who they could get. The majority was women, but I've noted there were men, and it makes me wonder, this is kind of depressing, but if there was a patient named Rudy, he etches his name. Clearly, he's smart enough to know his name. What if this was his last spot? What if he actually had a spot here and in his final days, this was his resting spot? It's what bothers me about this stuff. This is deeper than what we think. We have a short time to be here. We have our little chapter, and it's depending on what we do. It's why this research is very important, as you know, and you are conducting very good and contributing to it. This is the most important research. We need to figure out what's going on for things like this, because we're only here for a blip.